Let's get to the business news now with Nona Peltier. Nona, I hear Tower Insurance is going to sue EQC. What's all that about?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. $80 million is what they're looking for. That's for monies that they think that they're owed for, I guess, expediting the repairs that were taking some time. So they thought that they were going to get reimbursed for those costs, but it hasn't happened. So they've kind of been waiting, I suppose, for some kind of settlement. Hasn't come, so they've gone to the court for it.
Okay, so in other news, a takeover offer for Abano Healthcare is off the table. What's going on there?
Yeah, so this was I guess, a joint venture company that was set up to take over Abano for about $150 million. And it was approved by shareholders at a special meeting, I think maybe the week before last, come to think of it. It was very recently approved. However, at the same time, the folks in Australia, they have two dental chains. One is Lumino, the dentists. You may have heard of them in New Zealand.
Yeah.
The other one is one called Maven in Australia. So last week they had to shut down some of their facilities in Australia, and of course, last week they had to do New Zealand, and today they had to do Australia. So that's a material hit to their income. So the bidder, a company called Bidco, said no thanks. So Abano's still talking to them and others that were potentially interested in the company. It was a very profitable and well-run company prior to all of this happening. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. Certainly there's still interest. However, their share price dropped 22% today as a result of that.
Yeah, and that is a direct relation to COVID-19, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're still looking at how they can keep some dental services open for emergency services. I don't think they've quite worked that out yet, though, because I guess obviously it's quite difficult to protect their frontline staff. So they're working on it. And again, we expect to hear more from them in the coming days.
So what else has been going on the markets today then?
Well, interesting. We had a kind of a poor start to the day, sort of following on from what we saw in Wall Street. There was, I guess, a couple $1 trillion stimulus. You think that would have been enough for the markets to take heart, but Wall Street weren't that impressed by it. In fact, the markets there fell. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 4%, and the other indices were about the same. Asia is also not very impressed, and that's because we've had some news out there that some assessments of the economic recession that we're expecting for the first half could be something in the order of 10%. And so those kinds of forecasts has really unnerved the market again. Now, so for whatever reason, though, Australia's been doing quite well, and New Zealand followed that market up in the afternoon. So we finished up 1.1% by 104 points to 9,661. The Australian market was up about 3%. I don't know exactly why it is that we're doing much better than the rest of the world, but there you go. And our Kiwi was steady. It was at 60.3 US cents, 98.2 Australian, and 48.7 British pence.
Thanks, Nona. That's Nona Peltier with Our Business Today.